Welcome back. Right now we have a really great topic to speak with you about today, and I'd like to welcome Dr. Ahmad El-Barshawi. And you're a board certified sleep specialist and also the service chief of Hoag Sleep Center up the road in Irvine, right?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, this is, I think, a really great subject because, well, everyone is going to be affected by this one way or another.
Yes.
So first of all, tell us about the program, the Hoag Sleep Health Program, and how it got started.
So a few months ago, we started our sleep center in Hoag. And the sleep center is part of the program. It diagnoses and treats different modalities of sleep disorders.
Okay.
Our program is really comprehensive. We want to tackle anything that has to do with sleep, starting from insufficient sleep to insomnia to breathing disorder through sleep at night. And the sleep center is in the center of that. And it's a great place.
And it's located right up the road
San Canyon,
Yeah,
Irvine.
so very close by.
Yes.
And you know, sleep disorders, and we are talking about the word disorder because everyone now and then can't sleep. Sometimes it might be for a night, sometimes for 2 or 3 nights in a row. It can be a lot of different reasons.
Yes.
That's normal. We all have that. We could be stressed, we could be excited about something, but what you're talking about is something much more, much deeper than that, and it can really affect people in a very adverse way. Am I right?
Absolutely. So before we go to the pathology of sleep,
Yeah.
even the nature of accepting that sleep could be interrupted or imperfect is something that we just grew to understand and accept as part of life.
Right.
But not necessarily should be the case.
Right.
Should have a restful sleep because it affects the entire day.
Yeah, it
And
does.
it's one unknown soldier that if you fix it, a lot of your day will be aligned. And then
Yeah, that's true.
it's not like somebody turns the light on.
Yeah.
You're more sharp, you're productive, you eat healthy, you're losing weight, you have more energy. If your sleep is good, your mood is better. However, other pathology for sleep, including one of the most common things is stopping breathing at night, which is very attached to heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure. And that's why we have the sleep center. When we diagnose the patient with that and treat them, a lot of their health aspects will get better. Their blood pressure,
definitely.
their diabetes, other things too.
And you know about that well because you have specialties in other areas that all
You're right.
Come together. Let me, in sleep in general, what would be a good night's sleep? In other words, we hear that term REM sleep.
Yes.
When does that occur?
Yes.
You know, people when they dream, a lot of times you dream and you wake up afterwards. But tell us, just if you said here's really a great night's sleep, what would be over the course of several hours?
So usually it has quantity and quality.
Right.
So we like the patient to have maybe no less than 6.5 or 7 hours of sleep a night.
Right.
We like when you wake up in the morning to be refreshed, to be restful, to be ready to go through the day. If you wake up grumpy, tired, restless, using a lot of coffee to start your day,
Yeah.
maybe you didn't have a good sleep. It's typically the REM is about 20% of your sleep at night.
Okay.
Maybe 30%. It happens in the latter half of the night.
Okay.
And that's where you actually rest, where you actually get out a lot of energy in a very healthy way. And sometimes if you have a lot of sleep problems or breathing problems through the night, you don't get that much REM. So you have what we call a REM debt. You tend to have accumulation of unfulfilled dreams.
I like that.
Then when we actually treat these patients and put the mask on to treat their sleep apnea, to take away their breathing problems, they get back more dreams than they thought initially because the body's trying to get it out of its system.
Yeah.
And some of the patients will come back to me and say, you know what, this machine is making me dream more. I'm saying, actually, just allowing you to catch on.
That's very good. Let's talk about that sleep apnea, and I know that's probably one of the major disorders. Not for everyone has that, but there's all different kinds of treatments nowadays for that. I mean, you mentioned the mask, and I know if somebody might feel encumbered with that, there's other solutions as well, right?
You're right. So sleep apnea in general means stopping breathing at night.
Right.
And it has to do a lot with the airway anatomy, the airway size and weight, and also the tone. and it's much more common in men than women.
Okay.
It happens maybe between 50 to 70 years of age, and it's common in people who are muscular in their neck. A lot of ex-football player, truck driver will have sleep apnea.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Normally, usually people should not stop breathing more than 5 times every hour. And I see patients who stop breathing 60 and 70 times an hour.
Wow.
So you can imagine the brain has no restful sleep at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time the brain is trying to go to deep sleep to rest, the airway will close. The patient will wake up and try to go back to sleep. And when they wake up in the morning, no matter how long they slept through the night, they are very restless.
You're right.
They are very
That's very
uncomfortable.
interesting.
Treatment, the mask tend to have a little bit of poor perception. So the public think the mask is very unpractical. I have sleep apnea, I can never wear the mask, I can never treat. But now, in Hoag, we have the most advanced sleep masks. So we have masks that just fit into your nose, masks that just complement your nose structure.
Okay.
You can turn with it, you can sleep on your face with it, you can be very comfortable with the mask. And that's the value of a program.
Right.
We don't just give you the mask and say, here it is, deal with it. We want to see you, what's the problem? Is it too hot, too cold? Do we want to change the pressure? How can we adjust it? We work with you. So nationally, we have compliance rate of maybe 50%. People,
Okay.
1 out of 2 people who have the mask will use it nationally. In our sleep center here, I'm confident that our percentage will be much higher than 85% or 90%.
Okay,
So
that's great.
we want you to use the mask. We want you to be comfortable. Other things like oral appliance, sleep in certain positions, losing weight, which everybody can use.
Right.
But the mask still still is the most common and the most successful. And our job is to make sure that you use it. Our job is to be with you in this and not to make sure you feel alone.
And you mentioned that, and one of the steps that somebody would take, and that they actually come in, and am I right, they sleep for a night?
You're right.
Right, and I did that years ago. Turns out I was fine. You know,
You look fine to me.
Yeah, I mean, actually what it was for me, it was, you know, they had to give me some nasal decongestant type stuff. But I remember doing that, and I imagine that you folks do something very similar. People come in where you put like electrodes on
Every
or something,
night.
am I
So
right?
the patient will come in 7 or 8 at night. We'll walk them through the process. We'll be monitoring you. We put electrodes on the head, the eye, the nose, chin, chest, abdomen, and legs. And it's very light. It's just sticky. It does not hurt at all. And it's very convenient. We really are expert in making sure that you can sleep. A lot of patients think they can't sleep, and 99% of the patients will fall to sleep just fine. So we can know which stage of sleep, how long did it take you to fall asleep, when did you get to REM, your breathing, your oxygen, your heart rate. A lot of time we pick up stuff on the heart that nobody else have ever thought, because we monitor you through the night.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something that a good step to take, obviously.
Absolutely.
That tells you preliminary what's going on.
A lot about your body. We have very comfortable rooms. The bed there is much better than my bedroom. So it's a private bathroom. It's a state of the art.
Yeah.
As anything Hoag
definitely. Along those lines, nowadays there are things people can do at home. There's different monitoring apps, and people can wear a device. Have you looked into those? Do they help out?
Dealing with much more educated patient than before sometimes can give you a double-edged sword.
Okay.
So I like my patient to be engaged with their issues, to know what's going on. I trust their instinct. I want to trust their instinct.
Right.
But sometimes the patient can come completely driven out of sanity because of everything they monitor, because of all the gadget we have.
Right, exactly.
So I tend not to try to look for trouble, but if you have issues, it's always good to consult. And I will take everything. I have patients who suggest natural medicine. Let's talk about it. Let's see how this can help us. Monitoring, if you really have no complaints waking up in the morning, you're going about your day, you're healthy, you're upright, you're not using 3 cups of coffee to get going, I don't think you should look for something. Okay, very good. You mentioned sleep apnea, which of course is probably one of the #1 disorders. Yes. What's another one? The most common, the only one thing that's more common than sleep apnea is insufficient sleep. Because people perceive that 4 or 5 hours is normal. And people perceive that it's okay to be tired throughout the day. This is, the 21st century, everybody should be tired. So insufficient sleep is endemic in America. A vast majority of patients of people do not get enough sleep. That's number one. Number two is the sleep apnea, which is stop breathing at night. And then the others, which is activity through sleep, through REM, acting your dreams, insomnia, shift working, related sleep disorder.
Right.
And a lot of time, the reason I went to sleep medicine is I could relate to my patient. One of the few things in medicine that a doctor and the patient can relate to each other. If you snored, I snored. You had a sleep study, I had a sleep study.
Yeah.
Your wife told you stop breathing, my wife told me I stop breathing.
Exactly.
You know, you were a shift worker, I was a shift worker. You know, so I can, insufficient sleep, I had insufficient sleep. And it's a great place where you can say to the patients, I know what you're going through. You can't say that as a physician to a lot of other disorders.
That's very true.
Yeah, and for sleep, so I'm with you in this. I want to treat you, and you know what? Meanwhile, I give you my experience as well.
Yeah, because you've been there.
You're right.
Obviously,
I've been there.
you are a doctor, so you went through it a lot.
Right, you're right.
You know, speaking of that, you mentioned insufficient sleep just in general. Of course, now compared to 20 years ago, very few people go home and relax in the evening. Even if they're watching TV, if it's like me, I'm often, you know, checking Instagram and Facebook and all kinds of stuff, you know, sometimes right until I go to bed. It's just a part of our lives now.
Right.
Do you suggest that to relax, half hour before you go to bed, put that stuff down, if anything, you know, read a book, or maybe you're reading a book online, whatever it might be, but just do something like that that kind of calms you?
It is very healthy to do that.
Yeah.
I like to perceive the sleep time as a date. You need to set the, you need to set the mood for it. Dim the light, play music, warm drink, maybe light snack. In the last hour before you go to bed, you don't want to read that much news. You don't want to watch something aggressive. You want to be setting the mood. In fact, one of the healthy habits, I have patients with insomnia. They think they go to bed and they can't sleep.
Right.
And one of the healthy habits or the healthy exercises that, why don't you write your problems on a piece of paper? Write them, leave them outside the bedroom. When you go to the bedroom, don't take them with you. I guarantee you, when you wake up in the morning, they will be there.
Yeah. Your problems will still be there.
But it's a great idea to set the mood. Less light, less exercise right before bedtime, nice talk, nice read, calm music. It will get you to sleep better. Warm bath is good, warm milk is good. I'm sure nobody does that.
No.
but it's a start.
A bourbon, is that good?
Start. Well, this is a double-edged sword. People use
exactly.
alcohol to help them sleep, which is nice sleep aid. But once all the alcohol is out of their system, they get what we call a rebound insomnia.
Yeah.
So 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, they wake up and they can't go back to bed. And I'm not sure it's healthy on the long term.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Thank you very much for coming on, Doctor.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure meeting you. I love this subject. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
And I want to give folks some information. Of course, we talked about the Hoag Sleep Center in Irvine, right off Sand Canyon. I'm going to give you the number, 949-764-8070, right on the screen there. sleepcenter@hoag.org. You'll meet this fine doctor, and he'll figure out if you have a problem, and maybe you get at least one restful night's sleep at their sleep center, right? At least as a start.
Hopefully a start.
All right.
Hopefully a start. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Yeah.